Hey guys, it's Shaman and
Yolanda.
that's right, from Harper Therapy.
I still know my name.
You still know your name?
Not much else,
I
but
was gonna say, but do you know what day it
I
is?
do. It's day 5,368.
Right. It's so bad.
Groundhog.
That's what we're here to talk about today.
We're actually dating ourselves by calling it Groundhog Day.
No, I think Groundhog Day, everybody knows what Groundhog Day means.
Yeah. So we're co-founders of Harper Therapy.
Right. And we're here to talk about Groundhog Day.
We are. Yeah, we're a mental health practice in Lutz, Florida, in the Tampa Bay area. And we're sharing tips every day.
Yeah, and today is, I think it kind of comes on the heels of Florida's safer at home for the next month.
At least.
Yeah, till the end of April, right? At least that's what it is today. I'm sure in an hour that might change till the end of June. I don't know.
Any moment. You never know.
But we figured we could touch base on some of the things that we could do to kind of break Groundhog Day a little bit.
Break up the monotony.
Right. It's tough. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm struggling at home every day.
You know, it's interesting because a lot of people this week have said, I'm really tired.
Right. It's kind of exhausting.
And I do think that part of that fatigue is, one, us coming down from the adrenaline dump that we all experienced.
Previous couple weeks,
right? And I think part of it too is just the monotony of,
Right, and then it's like, I don't know about you guys, but for the last couple of weeks, we've settled into this weird pattern, right? So, like, our normal pattern is we work our jobs, and I actually work from home and come to our office on occasion, and Yolanda usually works from here. And in the evenings, we go to yoga, and we make dinner, and, you know, we maybe watch a show and do a little reading and go to bed. That's our normal evening, right? Get up in the morning, walk the dogs and all that. So we develop these patterns.
Yeah.
And all those things are kind of thrown off right now.
Yeah, and maybe kind of a recognition that our patterns previous to all of this were super busy.
Very busy.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden our patterns are very open, I guess. Maybe there's a lot of space.
A lot of space. A lot of space.
And it's kind of having us reinvent what our lives and our patterns look like.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways it does give us the opportunity to look at the way that things were and to say, oh, okay, so what we had this conversation the other day, like here are some parts that we're noticing that we're really actually enjoying.
Right, there are some good things.
And how do we carry those things forward when things kind of shift back to whatever normal is going to be after all of this.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we're thankful that we can still do a lot of the things that we were doing from home. You know, and well, that leads me into some tips that we have. So, how we're going to break Groundhog Day? I think there's 3 things that we could do that'll help a lot. And I think the first one is moving your body, exercising.
You might notice some repetition in some of these tips that we have been, if you have been watching every day.
Yeah, but it's important.
It's repetition for good reason.
Right.
Good reason. So moving your body is important, not just for your physical health, but mental and emotional and your relationship health.
Right. I mean, there are a lot of great opportunities online right now that you can use and put into practice in your life during this period to move your body. And you don't even have to leave your house.
Although being outside is good.
Right.
Moving your body and being outside, that's a combination of the two.
Right. So if you can just do something simple like walk your neighborhood, that's awesome. We are members of Florida Power Yoga, and Denise and their staff have been putting up a lot of their normal class schedule, which has been like a life save for us. So we still get to do our yoga that we normally do. We, hey, we miss you too, Christy.
Hey, we miss you.
And right now we can't come see you.
We can't.
But
we sure wish we could.
Right. But we still get to do a lot of those things that we were doing, like from the yoga perspective with Denise and our staff. They're streaming their stuff. They've opened it up to all kinds of people. Florida Power Yoga, check it out. It's just one of 1,000 options, right? I was reading, we saw the news the other day where Nike is doing a bunch of stuff where they've opened access to free online stuff and they've expanded their subscription stuff. I've heard was listening to a podcast today that you happened to be on.
I did.
From Rebecca Gregory from Rebecca's Angels. And she was talking about how her and her husband bought a Peloton.
Yeah.
Which is another awesome thing that you can do.
Yeah.
So I think...
And Jen, one of our awesome therapists who works here, was saying that they just bought an elliptical machine. So
right, that's right. Yeah, they just bought an elliptical. So there's a million ways you can move your body and still be at home. My preference is always to get outside. Right. You know, I love to paddleboard. I love to hike. I love to get out. Something about nature kind of resets my mind. And
some of those options are not on the table anymore, right? As parks and stuff are closing, but you can we're still allowed to be out walking, running, jogging, fishing, those kinds of things. So move your body.
Move your body. That's number one. So the second one is breaking our patterns.
Yeah.
You know, we're like such creatures of habit.
We are, and then we're like, I hate this.
Right, and that's that habit, like that creature of habitness, that repetitiveness. That's the Groundhog Day. Yeah. Right? That's when you don't know if it's Saturday or Tuesday right now because it all feels the same. You're not doing different things. I mean, if you're like me, Friday rolls around and you're like, yeah, it's the best day of the work week, man. There's so much hope for the weekend. And right now I'm like, oh God, Friday's no different than Tuesday. It's just miserable.
Well, but it doesn't take a lot to break the pattern. It's as simple as, turning left when you go out for your walk instead of turning right.
Right. I mean, very easily like that. Yeah. Or maybe if you're working from home, work from a different space for a little while. Yeah.
Shake it up. Sit outside.
Right. Yeah. That's one thing I've been doing lately is the weather's been kind of decent. So at lunch, I go sit outside and eat lunch. It breaks the day up. Yeah. And it's just little simple things like that can help in a big way. Yeah. Maybe you go to a different room and watch TV from the one you normally watch TV in the evenings,
or explore different options as far as, games that you can play. Right. Just, shake things up. A little bit of a different routine, right? Instead of falling into dinner and then watching TV, maybe you do dinner in a different place in the house and play a game instead of watching TV. So there's all kinds of room for some creativity, which...
creativity. So creativity kind of plays in that whole boredom thing.
You like that segue, huh?
I did. I like that. Yeah. I like that. I wasn't going to go there, but I like that. But actually, that's perfect. Yeah. Because... that's like Yolanda came home the other day and I was laying on the floor going, I'm so bored. And
I walked through the door. He's laying face down on the floor. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm so bored. Right. Boredom is not a bad thing. We have lost our ability to be bored.
And boredom can really, like you just said a minute ago, it can kind of spur creativity. Yeah. And we've kind of forgotten how to do that. Yeah. I read a quote about Einstein one time where he had said if he had an hour to do something, he'd spend 45 minutes, and I'm paraphrasing, 45 minutes thinking about it, a problem, and then the 15 minutes implementing the solution, Yeah. It's okay to have that quiet. It's okay to have that boredom. It's okay to have that time, because that's when our minds are actually the best at solving those problems.
Yeah. That's, necessity is the mother of invention, right? But this is a good opportunity for us to kind of flex those boredom muscles. Like it's uncomfortable because we're not used to it, but it's not bad. Right. Boredom is not a bad thing.
It really isn't. It's just a struggle.
Yeah.
Because
it's
we're just like...
a struggle because it's so much to the extreme of the opposite of what we've been used to. Right. We've been so used to going so hard and so fast for so long. Right. That having these spaces, these open spaces, just is so different and uncomfortable.
So on the flip side of that, we should be like thankful that we actually have that space now, that we can kind of exercise that and kind of explore that. And
a great reframe. Right. And a lot of us getting through this COVID pandemic is a lot about the reframe. Right. It is choosing to find something to be thankful for instead of focusing on scarcity and all of the bad news. It's choosing to say, hey, well, boredom's not a bad thing. Right. It's okay. It's choosing to see, some of the small good things that are coming through all of this.
So we said exercise. Mm-hmm. We said break your patterns. Mm-hmm. We've kind of talked through how boredom can kind of beget creativity. Mm-hmm. And I think the last thing is like engaging your mind. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of cool ways to do that. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan of YouTube. I watch all kinds of YouTube content because I almost feel like you can learn anything in the world you want to learn through YouTube. Mm-hmm. The other night, we were breaking the pattern by playing video games together. Mm-hmm. And we were playing this part of this video game, and it was like a cooperative video game. We don't really play a lot of video games, so we're not very good at it.
I'm not very good at it.
No. But we were playing together, and we couldn't get past this. It's a puzzle game. We couldn't get past this puzzle. And I was like, well, I'm going to look up on YouTube how to get past it, because that's what my kids always do, right? Mm-hmm. And anything in the world you almost want to learn.
Yeah. You can learn a new language. You can learn to play an instrument. You can learn how to solve a video game. You can learn how to cook, to crochet, any kind of number of things.
I mean, write, draw, whatever, all of that stuff is out there. And the awesome thing about YouTube is it's all free. Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's just one of a million things that you can, or places that you can go and look at that content. Mm-hmm. Granted, I'm not a huge proponent of spending every moment in front of the...
No, but I think what I hear you saying is, like, use this space and this pause to say, now that I do have some space, some pause, what would I like to utilize? Like, what would I want to have on the other side of this situation? Right. Is there a new skill? Is there therapy that I'd like? Now is this a good time for me? I've got some extra time on my hands. How about some self-improvement? How about some therapy? How about learning a new skill? How about being intentional about connecting and improving my relationship? Like all of that. And not coming on the other side of this situation and saying, man, what a waste, it's another reframe, right? We can come out on the other side of this and say, wow, this is how I use this time to benefit me. Right. Or,
one of the big
things... I binge watch Tiger King.
Right, or you can binge watch Tiger King, which is what we've been doing.
A little bit.
But I will say, I've been kind of trying to figure out the practice of meditation.
You have been. I've been really impressed.
So, and that has one thing that I was just kind of starting to explore as this whole thing was starting out. Yeah. And I will say, it has really been something now that I look forward to every day. I usually do it every day at lunch. Like I go outside and eat lunch, and then I come in and I meditate, or vice versa. And I've been doing some guided meditation stuff. There's great apps and stuff that do that.
Lots of great apps.
But the cool thing is I've been doing it for a month now, and my blood pressure has gone down, which I think, it's out there. You can read that it'll do that. Yeah. But I was like, to actually see it was really
they
cool.
weren't joking about that.
Right. I was like, wow. So, to see things like that. Mm-hmm. So, that's one thing that I have challenged myself with trying to do is do some work that I can do on myself. Mm-hmm. And I know that if you're like me, your mind doesn't ever really stop. Yeah. And it's nice to kind of challenge yourself to make it stop.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great way. Yeah. Because we have so much, and that's part of the challenge with the Groundhog Day of doing the same thing over and over again. It just gives your brain that much more time to spend if you allow it. But doing some of these things and implementing a meditation practice and moving your body and the tips that we've been sharing helps to kind of rein that spinning brain in. Right.
And none of these things by themselves are unhealthy. No. Right. It's just, you've got to kind of challenge yourself and move yourself in ways that are gonna create some different stuff in your life.
And now's an opportunity for us to do that, individually and collectively. So there's some tips for overcoming Groundhog Day. Right. Yeah. So again, check out our other videos for other tips and hints about how to navigate through this time, and whether it be managing anxiety, helping your kids through this, helping your relationship survive this. Any number of tips. If you have some questions about some things that you would like some tips on, then drop those in the comments. And then otherwise, just stay tuned and take care of yourself, and let's take care of each other. That's how we're going to get through this together.
That's it.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, guys.